Okay, so just a reminder to everyone, thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you for being so accommodating for us to shift this meeting online. Just a reminder that the meeting tonight is being recorded. I definitely encourage you to keep cameras on, but maybe microphones off until you want to speak, just so that we don't have any background noise. But thank you everybody again for joining us. So we will start with our opening prayer and our land acknowledgement. So if you'll all join me in the sign of our faith, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. We come together in hope from different community groups, answering the same call to service, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in gratitude for the trust placed in us, for the opportunity to serve, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in respect, aware of our diversity, willing to work for the good, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in awe of the wonder and beauty of each of God's children, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in God's name, and as we work together toward the same goal, each piece of the puzzle begins to fit neatly into place, creating a breathtaking picture of love, compassion, courage, and grace. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And now our land acknowledgement.
As we know it today
is rich in the history and modern traditions
of many First Nations in the Métis.
From the lands of the Anishinaabe
to the Attawandaron,
the Haudenosaunee,
and the Métis.
These lands surrounding the Great Lakes
are steeped in Indigenous history.
As we gather today
on these treaty lands,
our Catholic social teachings
call us in solidarity
with our Indigenous brothers and sisters
to honor and respect the four directions: lands, waters, plants, animals, and ancestors that walked before us.
All these wonderful elements of creation exist,
gifted to us by our Creator God. We acknowledge and thank
the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation
for being stewards of this traditional territory.
Can't hear you, Brenda.
Do you have the agenda there, Margaret? Sorry.
Hang on, I'm just going to share it. I apologize.
Yeah, take your time.
There we go.
Great, thank you so much. So just moving on to item 1.2 is the approval of the agenda. So everybody will have received a copy of that in their meeting package. Was there any questions, comments, or concerns with respect to the agenda? No? Okay, perfect. If I could just get someone to move the approval of the agenda. Just shout out, or hi Rick, I saw your hand. So so Jessica, thank you. So moved and seconded by Rick and Jessica. Thank you. Item number 2 is declarations of conflict of interest. Do we have any declarations this evening? No, seeing none. Great. Okay, we are moving over to item number 3, which is our presentations. We have one presentation this evening, which is called Change and Transformation. So we welcome Jen Thompson and Anita Bader to present to us this evening. So thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Brenda. Thanks for having us. I think Margaret is going to share our screen, Margaret, or did you want me to do it? You're going to do it. Okay,
no, perfect. I'm going to do it. Sorry, hold on.
So while she's getting that, we're excited to be here tonight. I want to introduce, for those of you who may not know, Anita Bader. I'll let her say hello and just tell you what her portfolio is at our board.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anita Bader. I'm the special education consultant that supports Thrive and Transformation.
Perfect. And Anita has a family of schools too. She's being modest. So Mark, you can go ahead on to the next slide. Perfect. So this evening, we're excited to present to you 2 new programs that we launched this year. And we created these programs out of a need because we were trying to service a group of students who were really struggling with their daily attendance. So coming to school is very difficult for some of our students, or they may just be facing barriers specifically related to their social emotional well-being. And so we're going to tell you about two programs that launched in our board this year. One is called Thrive, and that was a program that we launched for students in grades 7 and 8. And the second program that we launched is Transformations, and that is for students in grades 9 to 12. And Anita's going to begin by just telling you a little bit about the program description, some of the goals of the program, and then we're going to share a little bit of further updated information with you as well.
Thanks so much, Jen. So what is Thrive and Transformations? Thrive is a program that we had in the past called Change, and we kind of retired that program many years ago and revamped it or rebranded it to a new program called Thrive and Transformations. So both of these programs really support, as Jen mentioned, students that not currently in a regular classroom due to ongoing attendance concerns or social emotional challenges, and or for those students who possibly are attending school but are facing barriers to credit accumulation due to similar challenges, and this is especially in secondary. Both of these programs focus on helping students understand their behavior, its impact, and develop skills they can use upon their return to their homeschool setting. We have found that the parent and guardian collaboration is really essential for student success. Staff are sending home newsletters currently to share some of the strategies that these students have learned in the program. And this helps keep parents informed and keep them equipped with some of the strategies that they can use at home because the students are learning at school. Currently, Thrive runs at St. Bernadette, and that is the program for grade 7 and 8. And Transformations is currently located at Bishop Redding in Milton and Thomas Merton in Oakville. Each site supports up to 8 students, with sessions offered in both morning and afternoon in the Transformations program. Next slide. So the goals of both Thrive and Transformation really aims to support students with the skills and tools needed for a successful return to their home school and regular classroom setting. Prior to discharge, a transition plan will be developed, including reintegration support from the team, and of course, visits to their home school. For students in Transformations, the semester prior to returning includes integration into one in-person credit earning course alongside the half-day program that is currently being offered. And we recognize the importance of professional development for not only our staff, but our parents, and are working to provide some student-specific support along with transition support from the Thrive and Transformations team. Next slide. So some key takeaways that we have actually learned this year include that some students really struggle with that consistent attendance in the large mainstream setting. And a smaller, more supportive environment really helps to improve attendance. What we've really observed is that students who have stopped attending their home school are now participating in the program. Even if it's just a few days a week, we're trying to constantly engage the students, but they're attending. A student's readiness and willingness to attend the program is key. And the reason for that is that we want the students to really be open to attending and engaging with the skills being taught. And those skills are being taught by a social worker, a CYC, as well as a classroom teacher. We've learned that the social emotional needs must be addressed before the academic progress can be made. And focusing on specific skill building is essential for the student growth. And that really comes with the support of our social worker and CYC. And these students are learning strategies from the CBT and learning how to develop coping mechanisms so that they can learn to take that back to their homeschool setting. We've also discovered that both group and individual sessions with staff, and that includes the classroom teacher, our social worker, as well as our CYC, are important for helping those students to develop and build the skills that they need to successfully return to their homeschool. Next slide. So we took some pictures so that you have the opportunity of actually seeing the space. And this space is actually at BR, Bishop Redding in Milton. And we have 2 dedicated rooms to really support both that instructional learning and that quiet, calm environment that really tailors to meet the needs of the students that are in the program. This slide shows how the Thrive program is set up. It's a beautiful site. Students begin each day by completing a mindful journal where they reflect on their mood and express what is on their mind so that the staff is aware. Again, we have 2 dedicated rooms to support both that instructional learning and a quiet environment.
And so I'm going to talk a bit about the implementation of the program. So we have a classroom teacher who supports all of our students in a 1-to-8 ratio. And within all of our programs, we have a CYC and a social worker as well, who are there to really build that social emotional learning in both age groups. In our Thrive program, we also have an educational assistant who supports the students in that particular program. Now, within our transformations program, because it is a half day, we also provide the opportunity for students to earn an additional credit if credit earning is a focus for them. So not all of our students are opting to do this. Or they also have the opportunity to be integrated into a classroom at their hosting school, so at Bishop Redding. Our Thomas Merton students right now are not integrated, but I'm going to talk about what that's going to look like next year in an upcoming slide. So our goal is that the students remain in the program for a maximum of 1 year or 2 semesters. Again, we've had some more discussions around that. We did have kind of an exception to that. So when we have students come in the second semester of grade 7, we don't want them to transition back with only a few months of grade 8 left. So that transition makes more sense for us to keep those students and then have them transition just into high school. The other thing about this program is that we do provide transportation for the students from a corner stop. And we are utilizing Build a Credit as a way for these students to acquire a credit at the secondary level. So this is something fairly new to our board, Build a Credit. And what it is it allows students to choose modules of interest, and they choose multiple modules put together, and they can actually create an interest course for themselves that they get a full high school credit for. So we are working in collaboration with our curriculum and pathways department on, we did a lot of training with our teachers on this, and it's actually going very well. The kids are really engaged in Build a Credit. And sometimes it's just that little thing that they need, prior to getting back to those kind of compulsory type courses. It's a really great way to re-engage our students. Next slide, Margaret.
So the transition process involves having a transition meeting to discuss the student's transition plan. And we definitely set specific student goals for each of the students. We also address any questions that parents and or school staff have so that they are equipped with having these students transition back to them. Additionally, the team will consider discharging the student when they believe the student has acquired the skills and the tools needed to successfully return to their homeschool environment. And part of this meeting would be the Thomas Merton principal, the classroom teacher, the CYC, the social worker. We encourage to have one school representative, and then myself would be present for that transition meeting. Next slide.
So this was the very first time through this program for us. It was the first year that we had it. And so we knew that this was going to be a learning year for us. We have taken a lot of feedback from staff and students in the program, and we are going to make a few I would say, improvements to the program next year. So we are going to be increasing the program hours. We've figured out a way, the students were feeling like the 2-hour block was just a bit too short. And so we have come up with a scheduling that will allow the students to still be in the program for a little more than half a day and still be able to partake and take transportation back to their home school for those who want to participate in integration. So all of our students, what we're going to be doing is we're moving our Thomas Merton site is going to move over to Corpus Christi, where our students can now, like our students at BR, they can be a part of a larger school community, and they too will have the opportunity to be able to do integration. If they need to do it at the host school because they need that kind of intensive support from the social worker or the CYC to help them with integration, they'll have that option, or they can go back to their home school. So those are some of the changes that we're making. And, you know, we are continuing to grow the programs. I know Cassandra has some really great ideas on how we can expand this program. You know, as we move into 2026, 27, she's like really future forward thinking. But we have seen great success. It is so great to see kids attending school who have not been in school all year because we have not been able to get them here. And I think that is what we are the most proud of, is that we now have a place for these kids to go when we couldn't get them in buildings, and we really are focusing not on their academics, but on their social emotional, knowing that academics will come hand in hand with that in the end. And that is our presentation. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm going to jump in because I think when we broached this idea last year, we had committed to it being a year of discovery. Let's see what we can do. And I have to commend both Jen and Anita for taking this, you know, seed of an idea and fostering and growing it to the point where we were able to launch not only the reimagined transformations, but also introduce Thrive. We had hoped possibly to have Thrive up and ready for September. And, you know, it wasn't without challenges like they were alluded to, and being really responsive to some feedback. And, you know, yes, we have ideas for expansion, and we felt that it was kind of a gap in our system. And so I really do want to just take a moment to thank both Anita and Jen, as well as the team at Merton, who, you know, have just embraced and built a program that's just continuing to like meet the students' needs and thrive. So, you know, I wanted to definitely, they've both been very humble in this presentation, but it's been a lot of work, and it did come at making some sacrifices and making some decisions and really prioritizing these needs. And it's to the point where our school administrators, particularly in secondary, recognizing how good the program was going, asked for it to be, you know, the real feedback we're getting from administrators is we want it to be continuous intake. But as you can see, we've been really intentional about the programming that we're offering. And so the continuous intake does pose a little bit of a change in dynamics in the classroom, but we were able to open it up kind of to align with midterm. And that resulted in taking additional students. So we've learned from that process. And I think that that's something we can do on a go forward. But they are being very humble here. I just want to, you know, shout it out and recognize them both for their leadership and for their partnering on this idea that's growing and evolving. So I'll stop talking and let questions happen.
It's been great. We have loved every minute of it. Anita and I have had the opportunity to work with an amazing staff at all sites. The administration's been so supportive. Cassandra's been so supportive in our ideas and all the crazy things we've been asking for. So it's really been a great year for us with this.
What's the feedback been like from families? Are you hearing from parents on what this has been like for, and I'm sorry if I missed that, but I think about, this is probably a big thing, right? For them to be having students back in. And I'm just curious, have you heard anything from the families on the impact of these programs?
I know you've met with some families, Anita, so I'll let you start and then I'll finish.
I have, yes. So I've actually been meeting with some of the parents, especially in Thrive, encouraging the families to continue to support the students to attend the program. And I think they're finding it very beneficial because not only is there support staff that are continuing to engage with the student, but they're there also to provide skills and support, especially over like March break. because they're not in school for a week, what are some things that they can do and what are some of the skills that they can work on? So it has been a positive feedback.
That's great. That's really good to
And
hear.
Brenda,
Sorry, Jen.
we are meeting with all of the families at the end of the year as we do transition planning. So we will get a lot, this, like they said, this is our first time kind of through. So we will have that final wrap-up meeting and transition meeting with these students and their families as we kind of get closer to the end of the year and plan for next year. And I think we'll elicit a lot of feedback at that time from them as well.
That'd be amazing. And again, just always, you know, yeah, I mean, I was talking to people from Best Buddies today, and I was, you know, the people from Best Buddies Canada, and I was just saying, like, you know, we look at these impact on our students and our staff, and then, you know, we sometimes forget about the ripple effect, right? And what the impact is on families, especially knowing these programs have been there for these students. And, you know, so that's great to hear. I'd love to hear more feedback once you get it. That's, I mean, it all sounds really positive. So that's fantastic. Kudos to all of you guys. Chris, I see you have your hand up. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how are kids originally identified for this program? Do they approach us or do we approach them?
Great question. So our principals have all been, we did a presentation to all principals in the school. So if they have students in their building that are struggling with attendance or social emotional well-being, they will connect with the families and offer this as an option. The school puts together like a package almost that really talks about and outlines all of the things that the school has already tried. And then we actually meet with every principal and social worker at the school. We bring them in and we meet with them for an hour to really talk about the student, because we know that pulling a student out of a school is a big deal, you know, changing their environment. And so in some cases, it may be, okay, here's some other really great ideas that you can try back at the home school that you maybe haven't tried yet or haven't thought of yet. We always do that first. And then at the same time, if we feel like the school has really, you know, we collaboratively as a group get together. And if we feel like that student could really benefit from the program, we decide that kind of at that 1 hour conversation. So we meet with, this year we did it twice. We had 2 sets of kind of those collaboration meetings about the students. And then we were able, actually, we took almost all of the students who have applied. There was only 1 or 2 students who probably wouldn't have been a good fit for the program because there were some other supports that those particular students needed prior to coming. And then we've been able to work with the social workers and the schools to try to connect them with those services that they needed.
Great. Sounds like you answered the question. Perfect. Was there any other questions from anyone? No? Okay. Well, thank you very much. We look forward, as always, to hearing how these things are continuing. And again, you know, as Cassandra sort of saying, it's nice to see something that's gone from this seed or this idea, like actually being implemented and coming to fruition, and then what the impact and the effects of that have been. So again, congratulations. And we continue, you know, we always want to hear more. So, you know, always please come back and give us updates.
We will, for sure. Thank you.
Good to see you, Anita.
You too.
Okay, perfect. So moving on to item number 4, which is the approval of the minutes. Again, everyone will have received a copy of the minutes in their meeting package for this evening. Was there any questions or comments with respect to the minutes from our last meeting? No? Okay, great. If I could just get someone to move the approval of the minutes. That'd be great. Thanks, Trish. That's perfect. And someone to second? Rick, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to our next agenda item. Thanks for doing this, Margaret.
Yeah, of course. There's nothing on summary.
Okay, so business arising, we don't have anything there. We really should start adding some things to our business arising. We have to get cracking on some stuff. Okay, so nothing on there from our summary of outstanding items from previous meetings. Moving on to item number 6, which is our policy review. So we do have one policy there that I know Cassandra mentioned last meeting that we would be having coming up. And that is, sorry, you're so fast, Margaret. I love it. So policy II-44, which is student mental health and well-being. Did you want to speak to that, Superintendent Jack Caldera?
For you, Chair. Yeah, we've had the opportunity to review this policy. Oops, sorry, my screen is doing something funny. And we did provide, I think after our last meeting or with the approved minutes from what month are we? March? Yeah, no, our February minutes.
February meeting.
You would have received the link to provide some feedback. We did look at the policy as a department, and we did make some changes. More about, if you scroll down, we've rebranded from Chief of Mental Health, Chief CYC, to Senior Manager. We've included some additional documents as part of the policy, but really wanted to get that the feedback from SEAC if there was anything that was glaring. We do think it captures a lot of our goals, and we will be, it kind of aligns with our cycle of the new mental health plan, so we can kind of, speak to that as part of the policy, but really wanted to make sure that we captured SEAC voice. So I don't know if there were any comments that Margaret received, because we do, I believe, have this one coming up after, is it after the long weekend or is it before the long weekend? I think it's before the long
third. Yeah, the third Tuesday.
Yeah, so if you haven't had an opportunity, this is the final call for this policy, and it's actually the final policy that we are tasked with reviewing this year, so you won't have to worry about doing any homework for next month or the month after that. So
perfect. Thank you so much. Did anybody have any questions? As you said, this was sent out to everybody. So hopefully anyone that did have a desire to review and submit commentary have had a chance to do that. Did anybody have any questions at all as we have the policy sitting here in front of us this evening? It looked, from when I looked at it, because I look at it a little different lens, but from when I looked at it, it just looked like a lot of cleanup, some updates on a few things, and I didn't see anything change in the spirit of the policy. Right. Okay.
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yes, I'm saying yes, and there is no major changes. Yeah, it's a very rich policy. We're proud of it, and it didn't require a lot of changes. Just like I said, some minor changes here and there. So. Again, last call, and this is the last of the homework from us on this. Actually, I think there's homework on something else. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so moving on to item, where am I here? Item number 7, which is action and information items. We do not have any action or information items this evening. Which is great. Moving on to item number 8, which is board committee updates from SEAC representatives. We do have a association report from Rick for voice, which is there. Rick, did you want to speak to that?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Trustee. I'll do a quick overview. So some of you may know May is Speech and Hearing Month, and we typically have a few events every year. So Dress Loud Day is one of our big events where we invite schools to pick a day and encourage their children, the students, to dress wacky, wild, crazy accessories to just raise awareness for deaf and hard of hearing kids and hearing loss. We get some great photos and feedback from some of the schools. We typically will post some of those photos on our social media. So I think it's for Halton Catholic District School Board. It's May 13th this year. I think I saw that on the list of dates. So that's great. Lots of fun that day. Kids have fun. The teachers have fun as well, and staff. So it's just a chance to raise some awareness and bring attention to the deaf and hard of hearing kids. Every May as well, we also have our voice conference. This year's 2025 conference is actually coming this upcoming weekend, May 2nd and 3rd. The theme is Educate, Empower, Enrich. And the conference committee actually has been working really hard. So I think December, January, putting together a great group of speakers and professionals that are presenting, as well as panels of former voice kids and some voice parents that are going to speak to the daily challenges, the successes of living with a deaf and hard of hearing child, or growing up in a deaf and hard of hearing environment for the the students. Day one typically is tailored towards professionals, clinicians, educators, and day two is typically more focused on parents and caregivers. There are continuing education units available for professionals, so anyone who may be paying attention or watching the SEAC or reading this meeting, reading meeting notes or doing the presentation, by all means, go to our website to look for more information if you're interested in attending. And I think that's actually our homepage is the conference information. So details can be found there. The next event coming up is probably one of our three big events of the year, basically, is Voice Family Camp. We started our camp back up last year. It was a great success. COVID kind of put it on the rails off the rails for a few years. And last year we were at Cedar Ridge Camp, which was a great venue. The kids had a great time. The parents had a great time. The weather was fabulous. And we're hoping for a repeat this year of weather and fun and happiness and like all kinds of good experiences for our families. This is a great again, it's a great opportunity for kids who can hang out with other kids that are deaf and hard of hearing, parents to support each other. We have a Saturday morning presentation and a workshop where we typically have a speaker and we have a Q&A session, and parents ask questions about everything we hear, even here during the year in our SEAC presentation meetings, transitions, challenges, successes. Lots of like the last year's presentation actually went an hour over and prevented my SEAC presentation because there were so many robust questions. So my SEAC presentation is pushed to 2025. So hopefully I get a chance to get in there. But really great to have this back up. People really had great feedback. It's a great opportunity for kids and new families to come and join Voice and see what it's all about. And additional details. So that's just getting started up. The planning's been going on, but we'll be getting details on registration probably throughout May and hoping to get registration up and running for June. You go to the next sheet, please, Margaret. So other information, each month we, during the school year, we have Hearing Heroes Hangout meetings. These are meetings hosted by, we have two students who are in post-secondary education who are mentoring younger teens, just having some fun with them, sharing life experiences, discussing their successes and challenges, and coping with every day with hearing loss. There's typically a Kahoot, I think, as well, and that happens one night, I believe it's the last Friday of the month, in the afternoon. And one more item is our monthly parent meetup. This has actually been a very popular event that started up, I believe, back in January again. And it's one evening a month where parents get together just to chat about everything that they're dealing with, education issues, IEPs, which hearing devices to use, transitioning to cochlear implant questions if their children are on hearing aids. So it's a chance for parents to get together and just kind of chat with each other online quickly. It's pretty informal. That seems to be very, very well attended in the last few meetings. So that's a good thing that we can hopefully keep going. And that's pretty much it for Voice. Again, if you're in a school on May 13th and you feel like you're getting crazy, put a pair of crazy socks on, crazy hats, bunny ears, whatever you got, necklaces. So wigs, whatever, right? So have some fun with it.
I think we could probably, thank you, Rick. I think we could probably even maybe, let's think about incorporating some of those aspects for our May SEAC meeting.
Sure,
so I know we've got some other stuff going on in May. Like I know it's National Accessibility Awareness Week. So maybe we can combine our red with some wacky dress loud stuff and let's have some fun at our May meeting.
Perfect. I like it. Yep, for sure.
I think that would be great. Thank you so much for Rick, for that report. Does anybody have any questions? I did have a quick question, Rick. I know when you talked about your parent event and you said it's popular, I know that for a little while, and I don't think Voice is unique in this, that after COVID, it was sort of hard to get some of those things, sort of started again. Are you seeing that you're having some good success with some of those parent connection opportunities?
Yeah, it is. I haven't been able to attend them because they occur on extracurricular night. So, but I speak to our program manager. She's in on them every month, and she said initially there was only a few parents, but I think the registration. I see the registration information. So I do a lot of some of the stuff in the background on the website, and there's upwards of 15, 20 people sometimes registering. They can't always attend, but it was very difficult to get it rolling again. But we've been kind of flooding our Instagram page, and our invitations are going out to members just to remind them, hey, on Wednesday, I guess Wednesday, the third Wednesday of the month or the fourth Wednesday of the month, from 6:30 to 7:30. If you're available, come chat with parents. It's online. We used to have these years ago coffee meetups before COVID, where parents in different chapters would get together. Our chapters are not as well structured as they used to be. COVID kind of kiboshed that a bit as well. So the online stuff works great because people can attend regardless of whether they're in Windsor or in Ottawa, and everyone can kind of get together and chat about stuff. So yeah, it's gaining some momentum again, which is great because it took a while to get going. We tried this up last year and we didn't have much success, and this for some reason December, January seemed to get some really good traction going. So yeah, it's getting better.
Great. That's good to hear. That's great, Rick. Again, thank you so much. I don't see any questions, but we really appreciate you bringing that forward. And again, if anyone has, association reports from their, oh, Rhonda, go ahead. I missed you. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think the Leafs just scored. Well, there's some yelling going on in my house.
Oh, there's no yelling going on here.
Okay, sorry. Rick, I think it's really important for you to maybe get on to some of those parent groups as well to start talking about SEAC recruitment. Yeah, and to prioritize it for the camp as well. Yeah. It's really it's important. Yeah.
Trying to fill out our ranks for sure throughout the province.
Sure. Okay. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, Rhonda. Okay, moving on to item number 9, which is communication to SEAC. 9.1 is our trustee report. Trustee Powell, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. Is there a hand up? That's old. Okay. It's Rhonda. Just a couple things from the board table, from the trustee point of view. We had a policy meeting April 8th where we had a couple delegations. We just had a proposed amendment to policy V-404, school fundraising activities. So we had a few delegations speak out. We received a number of letters as well. So you may have heard some things about it. This was initially raised in 2018, the fundraising ban on any organization involved in stem cell research or reproductive health care in any way, or any charities associated with that. So that amendment failed, but it was brought to the table once again, but it did fail. So just if you've heard some stuff about that, that's what happened. We had our regular board meeting April 22nd, just last week, and we had a presentation by our own superintendent, Jack Caldera, on mental health and well-being. And actually it was really cool. It was highlighting some of the activities in a few of our schools. I liked the, I didn't write it down. The students that were planting flowers, one of the high schools. I know it
the
was
gratitude jar, the Bishop Reading. Yeah,
I love the gratitude jar. It was the kids planting flowers during exam time as a stress relief. And I just thought that was really cool because you know what? It's something I do as an adult to kind of release or, de-stress, even though I'm not very good at it, but it's a great way to get teenagers involved too, especially with exams. The gratitude jar, I love that. That's going to be next year. I believe you're trying to get a jar in every school. And then there's some resources you highlighted, like our mental health website coming soon. It's not there yet. And there is an Instagram page though, mental health at HCDSB. Okay, maybe we could share that, or just I could put it in the chat, but yeah, we'll have to follow that and see. Thanks for promoting that. Another point, this is pretty cool, is in Milton, Our Lady of Victory. One of the elementary schools is getting an addition. They're growing, so got more students coming, as well as child care center. And then one of our big highlights this month was the 37th annual student of Excellence awards. So we had both elementary and secondary students, trustees were involved in their areas, and it was just so cool seeing students of all ages, stages, getting various awards. Yeah, it was really cool. And then I think there was one more. Sorry, I have a bunch of like kind of hand scribble notes here too. Oh, our robotics team, and maybe that's going to be coming up in one of your highlights, Superintendent Jack Caldera. But Holy Trinity, Loyola, and Bishop Redding all had victories in the first robotics competition. So that was really cool that our high school, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of, I know my kiddos are all into robotics, and it's neat to see it actually have purpose, I guess, beyond just, you know, tripping over it in my living room. So it's neat to see it highlighted at the high school level. So yeah, I'm really excited to hear about what's going on in our schools, and that's all I got this month. Stay tuned for next month. It's just getting busier.
Thank you so much, Trish. Did anybody have any questions at all with respect to the trustee report? No? Great. Okay. Thank you so much. Now moving on to item 9.2, which is our superintendent report from Superintendent Jack Caldera. Over to you.
Yes, through you, Chair. So just wanted to highlight all the days that we recognize in the month of May. As we already mentioned, we're highlighting obviously May 13th for Dress Loud Day, but May is an important month to recognize Asian Heritage Month, Canadian Jewish Heritage Month, Dutch Heritage Month, Polish Heritage Month, South Asian Heritage Month. It's also Speech and Hearing Awareness Month. May 1st is National Principals Day. So if you know a principal, please make sure you recognize them. And then we have also a number of weeks that we recognize. So the week of May 5th to 9th, Child and Youth Counselor Appreciation Week, Catholic Education Week, Mental Health Week. And so I've included all the days so that you have them at your disposal and to participate should you choose. And as Brenda alluded, the week of May the 26th, that week we do have a red shirt day, so we could certainly incorporate the dress loud, wear red, and or any of the, there's no shortage of days to celebrate in May, so we invite you to do what your heart chooses. As Trustee Powell recognized, we did celebrate the 37th Student Awards of Excellence, where we also recognized our Spirit of Inclusion winners. So it was a great evening. And just last week, we had a SEA showcase, which highlighted the work, the ideas, the innovation that a number of our students who use their SEA equipment. And that was held at the beautiful St. Kateri Secondary School. And the consultant report has more information on that below, but I wanted to highlight and appreciate the team for the work that went into that. And then earlier this month, we had our Project Search Skills Day. And again, we'll touch more about that a little bit later, but wanted to highlight the partnership that we have with both the Milton Hospital, North Halton. We have a number of partners that come together to be part of our Project Search, and they were all there and at the ready. Today I'm coming off the high and I'm still donning my Best Buddies bracelet. We had our Best Buddies dance, and more information will be below, but wanted to highlight this amazing day. We actually had representatives from the Best Buddies Best Buddies Canada come, as well as Trustee Agnew came, so we were really appreciative to have that support, both from the trustee, but to represent SEAC. The dance floor was full, bellies were full, prizes were won. I mean, it was just a great day overall. So really happy and proud of the work that went into that day and preparing a day for our students in our life skills program and their bus buddies. And shout out to Holy Trinity, who hosted for the second year in a row. They just outdo themselves as far as providing student support and access to the facilities. There was even a last minute, you know, the gym was required for the election the night before, so we were a little bit panicked, and it just all came together. So very thankful about that. We've already touched base on the policy, but wanted to also highlight that you had a bit of homework as far as looking at our special education plan and providing some feedback. This plan's not due until last year. It was due, I believe, in July. So the school will be out and you will be on vacation by that point, but didn't want to miss the opportunity to give you a chance to provide some feedback. And I believe Meg's already sent out the link, but we'll continue to do so until the end of the year, just so we can capture all of your ideas and incorporate that into our updated plan for 2024-25 school year. We mentioned the mental health newsletter that we've been putting out along with our communication to our administrators to help build capacity at the schools. So that Mindful Minute does go out every month, and we're hoping that it's useful. There's QR codes, there's links and tips and tricks in there. So we're hoping that families are accessing it. We do share them with administrators so that they can share them with their school communities. But I think through our Instagram account, we can highlight some of that information as well. So we're broadening. We're not professionals in terms of strategic communications, but we're certainly working with the team to make sure that that information gets to those who need it the most. And this time of the year where we have a number of students who are registering for the first time in our schools, that might be in kindergarten. We do have students who may have diverse needs, and we've been coordinating some of that transition by visiting and connecting with families. So that's something that's ongoing. It's hard to believe that we're already at that point in the year where we're talking about September already, but we are, and that's part of our big push. Of course, this month, we marked the season of Easter, and how fitting, or maybe how divine, that our Pope left us on the Easter Monday. And there's one quote that really did speak to me when I first started to, when we first learned about Pope Francis, and it was just how much he embraced and loved every student. And there was one quote that I had come across that I've included in our minutes or in my report, just to reflect on. I think it does connect to the students that we do support and that touch our lives in so many different ways. And he always referred to children as being so important and integral to the beauty and the message of God. And we talked about the variety of flowers of all different colors and its unique beauty. And I think it really does capture the work that we do and the message that we can take in his memory, kind of motivating us in the season of Easter and beyond. And then I'll shift gears to the EA Managers update. So as we mentioned, the Best Buddies Dance was celebrated successfully today at Holy Trinity. There were approximately 200 secondary life skills students that enjoyed pizza, cake, raffle prizes, games, and crafts, with the highlight being the dance hall. And in the following weeks, we'll allow for a review of donations and volunteer work that supported the dance's success. We had outstanding support from our itinerant EAs, some community donations, facility services, and the hospitality of Holy Trinity Catholic Elementary School. The initial stages related to our September 2025 staffing process have also started with our EA transfer request form, allowing an employee to request an alternative school placement for September. So shifting gears from the dance, and wanted to just communicate that, we always hear, oh, my EA this or my EA that, and it's really hard for transitions and changes for some of our students, but we do have to honor the process. And so we're sharing that information here, hoping that this will help with making families aware that we do allow for EAs to indicate whether they are ready for a change, or if they want to stay in their community, and everything in between. And then subsequent steps, including our allocation process, EA transfers and postings, will always ensure we have our EA staffing needs addressed for the start of our coming school year. So just something to keep on our horizons. And then from Denise Coley, we have on April 23rd, the BA social workers, psychology staff, and CYCs participated in training by Dr. Jonathan Weiss on supporting students with dual diagnosis, so specifically autism and mental health. So we're seeing that opportunity to really understand and respond to the student and the whole child. And then our focus on Instagram for April was ABA, and in May, the focus will be on information from our CYCs and speech and language department. So you can follow us at special education at HCDSB. And information about our after-school skill development programs for 2025-26 will be shared through school newsletters in May, so in a couple of days, with links for parents so that they can indicate an interest in participating with their child. In the past, we've kind of asked school staff to connect with families to see if there's interest, but we're hoping that this way we'll get parents to indicate on behalf of themselves and to, get a broader response. So. From our CYC department, on April 4th, the PA Day, the CYCs participated in reviewing Youth X call-in cards for anti-Black racism. The call-in cards place critical self-reflection at the core while turning the understanding of anti-Black racism into action at the individual, program, and community levels. It's a new resource that we're really excited about that will be used to support CYCs in continuing to create identity-affirming spaces in schools. And from our social work department, we are now at full complement, including staff for the Transformations and Thrive programs. We've had a lot of change and influx this year, but we're finally at a good place, knocking on wood. And then our mental health team has been hosting training events to support the expansion of the Student Champions, which Trustee Powell mentioned. I shared with the board of trustees last Tuesday, and we're trying to expand that program into the elementary schools. The secondary champions are leading a learning day for elementary champions where they get information about transitioning to secondary school, how to look after their well-being, and learn team building activities that can lead at their schools. Each training day is by region. So earlier this month, Oakville was trained on April 10th. Milton, Georgetown, and Acton was trained last week on April 24th, and tomorrow will be our Burlington schools. And finally, updates from our coordinator and consultant. Our SEA Showcase, as I mentioned, was held last Thursday, April 24th at St. Kateri. Winners of the SEA Ignite grant were celebrated and showcased how technology improved their academic success and well-being. And we are thrilled to welcome applicants to our recent Project Search Skills Day, which took place on April 11th. Each participant brought enthusiasm, determination, and talent as they demonstrated their skills and explored opportunities for growth. It was truly inspiring to watch their potential in action. And then this upcoming week, related to Project Search, acceptance offers will be extended to our students who will take the next step in their journey toward meaningful employment. We can't wait to see what they'll achieve. And a heartfelt thank you goes out to the many dedicated volunteers who made this day such a success. I'll send a shout out to both Lisa Becca and Riona Richardson as well, who helped to organize that. So I'll stop there. And yeah, I'll stop talking.
You can keep talking. I love your list of stuff.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe it's too much, but I don't know. We'll keep doing it until we're bored of it, and then we'll change it up.
The updates are good. There's no such thing as too much information. The only thing I wanted to add is that I did have, again, as you mentioned, I was at the event today, and all I could hear from people, like I ran into some principals that were there, and I was running into some, board staff, and everybody kept saying is, this is my favorite event. This is my favorite event. And, it's so heartwarming to be at that Best Buddies. I had a chance to talk to some of the people from Best Buddies Canada today, and they were just in awe of what a wonderful job that staff did to put this event together. Everybody was right there together on the floor, getting down to the tunes and taking pictures and high-fiving and smiling. And it really, really was a wonderful day. And I know that those days just cannot happen without the dedication and commitment of staff to pull that together. So, huge congratulations and a big thank you to everybody who did that. I hope more people can have the chance to drop by the next time there's an event similar to that, because the feeling is like nothing else. So that was all I wanted to add to your big list of amazing information items. So thank you for letting me add that.
No, of course. And, we're so appreciative of you being there. But I do want to shout out both Andrew Jones and Simone Teramy. But Andrew Jones really did take the leadership role on this and just surpassed our imagination. We do now have a growing partnership with Special Olympics. And so we do have some consultants who are coordinating events with secondary school in particular, but we're sharing the calendar of events, and we're hoping, I think there's the torch run coming. We've got JZ Bat. So your calendars will start to get populated with these invitations. Come if you can, and stay for as long as you can to just experience that the joy that we get to witness in these events that we put on for our students. That can't happen, as you mentioned, Brenda, without the team. So yeah, now I'm done.
Thank you so much. Was there any questions at all for the superintendent's report? No? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, just moving along then. So item number 10, SEAC discussion items or questions. I did not have anything sent. I don't think, Margaret, you had anything sent to you with respect to any items to be added. Was there anything that anyone wanted to bring up this evening under discussion items? Nope. Okay, no problem. Just remember that's always there. And if there is something that you wanted to add, please feel free to send us an email and let us know, or, we do have this space to bring that up. Meeting summary and next steps. I don't think we have a whole lot of to-dos out of this meeting, which is great. I like when we have that. Our next agenda is Monday, April the 28th. Or sorry, no, it's not. It's Monday, May.
My fault, sorry.
That's okay. Monday, May 24th. 27th. Is it also the 20? Hold on. What's the last? Hold on, I'm looking at my calendar. What day we got? May 26th.
26, yeah.
Sorry,
Great.
my bad, sorry.
No, that's okay. So our next SEAC meeting is Monday, May the 26th. So we will send out a little note, but please consider wearing red for National Accessibility Awareness Week and bringing all of your fun colors for our Dress Loud. And I would love to see our SEAC committee participate if we can to support those initiatives. That'd be great. Resolution for absentees. We spoke earlier. So Margaret, I believe it was, we had regrets from Brianna, who else?
Mandy, Mariana, and Maria.
Right. Okay. So could I just get a motion for resolution for absentees? Somebody could move that. Okay, perfect. Okay, I've got Tracy. Tracy can move it, and Trish can second it. Thank you so much. Okay, and barring anything else, we will move to item number 14, which is our adjournment and closing prayer. So before I do the closing prayer, could I get someone to make a motion someone to move that we adjourn the meeting? Okay, moved by Trish, seconded by Rick. Thank you so much. We will go to our, thank you, Jessica. We will go to our closing prayer. If you'll all join me in the sign of our faith. If you'd like to add a little extra for those Leaf fans, we can add an unwritten line here. So if you'll join me in the sign of our faith, and you are the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Blessed are you, O God of all creation. Each day you spread before us the rich and wonderful diversity of the human family created in the divine splendor of your love. Fashioned in your image, you call us to love one another with the same tender care with which you brought us to creation. Each one of us is but one small part of the glory that is you. As we serve the students and families of the Halton Catholic District School Board on the Special Education Advisory Committee, fill us with your grace, guide us with your wisdom, and give us the strength and courage to do your work so that it may always be said of our every act, God saw that it was good. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Thank you, everyone. Go Leafs, and we will see you next month.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a